Well, it looks like we are starting to learn more and more about Marvel Studios' plans for the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in the MCU, the two major franchises that are going to push forward the MCU post-Secret Wars. We are learning more about them, not only what they're going to do with them before Secret Wars, during Secret Wars, but also after Secret Wars as well. And as we learn a little bit more about the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, we learn a little bit more overall what Marvel Studios' plans are for Secret Wars, but also post-Secret Wars. And it sounds like it's all really about to go down in Deadpool 3 and the Fantastic Four, with some really interesting plots coming into both these movies and the MCU overall. And some people might not like what Marvel Studios has planned for the X-Men, but some people might love it. You'll have to let us know what you think about it in the comments at the end of this video, but from what we're hearing, it sounds like the reboot of the new X-Men that are going to appear in the MCU post Secret Wars isn't 100% going to be really a full reboot. And of course, we'll break down what this means and talk about how Marvel Studios could actually execute this. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment down below to enter our giveaway for a chance to win a PS5, an Xbox Series X, some Marvel Legends items, or some DC items. The winner gets to pick one item, and we pick one winner at the end of each month. So when it comes to the new X-Men, we're not talking about the X-Men that are going to be reintroduced to us in Deadpool 3, in Secret Wars, and anything else that we might see them in leading up to Secret Wars. No spoilers for anything that has happened recently in Marvel Studios' world, but we have seen one of them return already. If you've seen it, then of course you know. If not, you'll hear about it soon. Pretty sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I won't spoil it for those who haven't seen it. But we've been talking for a while about how these original Fox X-Men characters are going to be appearing in the MCU. This is widely known now, and even Marvel Studios has made that clear. In fact, in the marketing for the Marvels, they have already teased the X-Men. But of course, fans want to know about the new X-Men, the new X-Men characters, the new mutants, who's coming to the MCU, maybe before Secret Wars, but what is it going to look like after Secret Wars? And according to this recent report, we are going to get some new X-Men, but it looks like some of these older X-Men characters and their actors who play them are going to be sticking around post-Secret Wars, which is really interesting. However, it does kind of make sense story-wise if they want to keep the continuity of the MCU going. Let me explain. The new report says that the MCU X-Men will be introduced after Secret Wars and will come from another universe, and some old Fox X-Men actors might stick around. Now, this report is coming from Grace Randolph. She reported this in one of her recent videos, and this is kind of what we thought was going to happen a bit ago, before they really started talking about the reboot of the MCU. Well, as we've gotten further along and we've learned more about Marvel Studios over the past couple of months, we've learned that the soft reboot is very real and is most likely what we are going to be experiencing post Secret Wars. Basically, what this means is not everything is going to be erased from our universe and all of the universes, the multiverse, at the end of Secret Wars, but some things are going to remain. From what we know, they're going to have a shared universe after as the main MCU, where characters from other universes whose universes got destroyed and they can't go back are going to remain in our universe. I think the overall idea of this is to where we can have kind of a fresh start, but you're not erasing everything that happened in the 616 universe from Iron Man to now, because that sort of would be a slap in the face to us. You're gonna start a new universe and say that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man never existed, Chris Evans' Captain America, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame never happened. We all love those characters and those moments, and we love that they are connected to the universe that we are still following. So to completely wipe them from existence would suck. So rather than completely start over, we're simply going to be fusing a lot of different universes into one, and not everything from our universe is going to make it. So we might actually be one of those universes that gets partially or fully destroyed, but before that happens, a part of our universe, including heroes and the civilians from every planet out there in our universe, could bleed over into whatever universe we fuse with. But it does sound like our universe is going to be destroyed, but we're going to have some survivors from it end up in another universe, along with remnants of a bunch of different universes as well. We'll essentially have a melting pot of heroes, but like I mentioned as well other populations, the civilians of Earths and aliens from other planets. But this does kind of answer the question of, well, how come we haven't heard of mutants or any X-Men at any point in time? Well, perhaps they didn't really exist in our universe. Now, they have been kind of prepping us for it. They did say that Miss Marvel was a mutant, but what we've heard recently is that Marvel Studios is going to basically take this soft reboot as an opportunity to prune, pun intended, anything that's really not working for them. Side note, I do think Miss Marvel is going to stick around. That's not a direct shot at her character, saying she's going to be pruned or anything, but my point is things can basically change to whatever Marvel Studios wants them to change to. And it's an interesting concept, keeping some of the older X-Men characters while bringing in some new ones. And since the populations are going to be merged, we are going to eventually have people who are born with mutant powers naturally from this new universe that's going to be created. And of course, over time, those older X-Men characters will die off in the MCU. So ultimately, there will be a time where none of those original actors are around anymore, and it's simply just new X-Men in the MCU. It is also worth noting that we have heard that the Fantastic Four might be set in a different universe. And yes, I am talking about the new reboot movie that is supposed to be coming relatively soon. Still waiting on that casting announcement from them. But this was also coming from Grace Randolph, and she said that Marvel Studios' plans is for them to set the Fantastic Four in the 1960s and have them exist in another universe where they are the only superheroes around. They are literally the only superheroes in their universe, so they are very, very famous. They try to stop Galactus, but they fail, and right before the universe is about to be destroyed due to an incursion or Galactus, the TVA shows up and saves them. And this is reportedly what we're supposed to see in Deadpool 3. The TVA will be involved. In fact, the TVA is going to have Deadpool prisoner because of what he did at the end of Deadpool 2. He started messing around with time. So in Deadpool 3, he's prisoner, he escapes, he travels the multiverse with Hugh Jackman, he sees a lot of stuff, and one of the things that he sees is the TVA now saving people from universes that are about to die due to incursions. And they are taking all of these survivors and putting them on one universe. And this one universe might be the universe that we are going to have as the main universe moving forward. So anybody he brings, anybody from the old Fox universe or any other type of variants that we might see could be sticking around if they survive Secret Wars. Now, Loki just sacrificed himself to essentially have the multiverse exist. So we assume that a multiverse will exist after Secret Wars. And we actually have just learned yesterday that Marvel Studios has withdrawn trademarks for Timeless Saga, Eternity Saga, Nomad, Runaways New Era, but they did not withdraw the trademark for Avengers Eternity Wars. Now, Eternity Wars does kind of imply that the multiverse will still be around, but for Eternity Wars, time would play a bigger part, which is weird to say after we just watched Loki Season 2. But clearly, Marvel Studios has plans. Again, not just for before Secret Wars, but after as well. And it looks like the X-Men, along with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four, might be coming together for an Avengers film called Eternity Wars in the future. So we'll have some new X-Men, but we'll also have some older X-Men sticking around in the MCU. What do you think about that? Do you think it's fine? Do you like this idea? Or would you rather have the X-Men be new? Completely new, all new characters, no remaining new characters, basically a full-on hard reboot. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. What would you prefer? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.